boy is back, 'cause you know he's the white boy.
I've talked previously in this series about the Enlightenment value of free expression, how other rights and values descend from that, and how harm is the only justifiable reason by which to moderate it. I've also defined harm in such a way as you might call actual harm. And this thread of thought leads, naturally, into one of the next great Enlightenment values worthy of discussion and worthy of bringing back: tolerance. The OED defines tolerance as the ability or willingness to tolerate the existence of opinions or behaviour that one dislikes or disagrees with. You might characterise tolerance as endurance, then. A certain hardiness which one develops in the world when encountering ideas and opinions that we dislike or disagree with. It's the capacity to put up with something that we might personally find uncomfortable or difficult for the sake of the greater good. It's still loving your racist grandmother, or that friend who votes for the wrong political party. Somehow the idea of tolerance has changed, though, over time. Now the term seems to have mutated. Expressing a counter-concept or arguing the case that, say, a particular set of beliefs might be genuinely harmful is decried as intolerant, and such an attitude is to be destroyed and minimized, while the beliefs under discussion, which may actually be genuinely harmful, are tolerated. Things seem to be a little backwards. The paradox of being intolerant of intolerance was addressed by the philosopher Karl Popper, who said, "Unlimited tolerance must lead to the disappearance of tolerance. If we extend unlimited tolerance even to those who are intolerant, if we are not prepared to defend a tolerant society against the onslaught of the intolerant, then the tolerant will be destroyed and tolerance with them." He concluded, as many have since I think, that we must be vigilant and argue against intolerance in order to preserve tolerance, and that this is largely a semantic issue rather than a practical one. The point remains, though, that differences of opinion and values are things we can and should endure and tolerate, up until they actually cause harm. We can and should be able to argue and debate them, and these arguments and debates do not, in themselves, constitute harm or intolerance. We should be free and able to tolerate dissent, disagreement, blasphemy, political opposition, and all manner of issues, right up until the point they cause that actual harm. This is necessary for the success of a multicultural society, and I don't just mean multicultural in the way it's conventionally meant. Look at the rift between the right-wing political culture in the United States and the ostensibly left-wing political culture. Never the twain shall meet, despite their differences being infinitesimal on any reasonable political scale. The two cultures are bitterly intolerant of each other, and more so every day. Communication is hampered, compromise has become virtually impossible, the business of politics has become virtually impossible. Media has become partisan, you can't get unbiased news, and all because of the loss of this important Enlightenment value: tolerance. Let's bring it back.
You can keep up with what I'm doing at postmortemstudios.wordpress.com, which also has links to everywhere that I sell my products. You can also keep up with me on Twitter at Grimachew, and if you would care to support my work, you can support me at Patreon, again at Grimachew. Anything you give there will be used to better future further projects. Thanks.